Hi y'all, it's Ilana and welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to be talking about how I deal with being sexually frustrated while being single and how you can too. I feel like what I'm about to say may sound like common sense, but I mean, at least it's worked for me. So I hope that it can work for you too. If you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. I post content about what it's like to navigate life and dating in Portland. So if you are single, you think about moving to Portland, or you live in Portland, subscribe down below, join the Kitten Squad. I'd love to have you here. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into what's helped me. It's been 1 year since I've last had sex, and the longest period that I've ever gone without sex was 4 years. And let me tell you, that was awful. But within this past year, it's been a lot easier to manage sexual frustration. And I'm gonna talk about like what's helped me not feel awful about not having sex, because fun fact, you may find this hard to believe, but like I rarely have sex. I don't hook up that often. When you don't have sexual partners, you're not gonna be having sex. And so that's been my case. But there were times where sexual frustration used to smother me to pieces. It drove me crazy. I didn't know how to manage it. There were times where it would make me cry because I was either so horny or I was so lonely. I didn't know what to do and how to manage it. And then I finally figured out ways to help me with that. So let's talk about the first thing. Not only is this the first thing, but this is the most obvious thing, and I'm sure everyone's been thinking about it since they started this video, and that is giving yourself some self-love. Obviously, masturbating is probably going to be the easiest way to deal with your needs and to release those endorphins and other hormones and chemicals. You are releasing like some feel-good chemicals when you're giving yourself pleasure or when you're engaging in sexual activity with someone. It makes you feel good, right? And so that's obviously one of the easiest things that you can do. And if you do not have a toy of any single kind, I highly recommend you go out and you buy some. Adam and Eve is obviously a place where you can go to get toys. Good Vibrations is another one that I really recommend. And you can even check around and see if there's like your local stores that are in your area that you can go to. You can find some really great things and they can help you kind of give you an idea of what would maybe be a good fit for you. So obviously that is the first thing. Just wanted to get out of the way because I know it's the most obvious thing. This next one that's really helped me may not come as a shocker to anyone, but that is exercise. So if I am feeling really sexually frustrated, I will go to the gym, and typically I like to do cardio and some weightlifting if I'm sexually frustrated. Sometimes I can't lift weights if I'm so sexually frustrated because I'm not gonna focus on it, but doing some sort of like cardio activity has really helped me. When I'm on a machine doing cardio, I can just really get lost into what I'm doing and get distracted by other things while still being on the machine and knowing that I'm not gonna hurt myself. And then at that point, I'm not even thinking about sex or how horny I am, and I just feel a lot better. So cardio has really helped me. Everyone obviously is gonna be different. So if it's weightlifting or yoga or other forms of physical activity, then do what works for you. Again, that's just what works for me. Here's the third thing. That is exploring your own sexuality and how you want to explore your own sexual expression. So a couple of years ago during the pandemic, I was on OnlyFans, and I was on that for about 6 months. And one of the biggest reasons that I started is, well, A, I was poor, I really needed money. And the other thing was, I wasn't getting any during the pandemic. I mean, I feel like a lot of us were, when we were single, we were told to social distance, to not meet new people, to always be wearing a mask, don't be coming in physical contact with anyone. So sexual frustration was in its peak in 2020 and even some parts of 2021. That was one thing that I did to like express my sexuality, was by going on a platform to showcase my sexuality and my sexual expression, and that helped. Some people can even choose to sexually express themselves through music or art or even writing. I mean, you can write yourself a personal erotica novel to yourself, so it's for your eyes only, or writing some sort of fan fiction, whatever is going to just keep those thoughts to yourself, just journaling is even another thing that you can do. So however you want to sexually express yourself, or if you want to go into the sex work industry, just know that there are a lot of precautions and safety things you need to be mindful of if you do want to go down that route. It's up to you, but it can be a good way to sexually express yourself. And lots of people do solo stuff online and it's helped them. So if that is something that you're comfortable with, definitely look into it and get started, because it's a great way to express yourself. And I think sexual expression is a really important thing, because then you get to learn new things about yourself that you like, and that way you can always eventually tell a future partner down the line on what's gonna help you and meet your sexual needs. So give that a try. The fourth thing is to avoid things that trigger your sexual frustrations. For me, the only thing that's really triggering is men that I've gone out with and I never had sex with them, and I really wanted to, and it bothered me that I never got a chance to have sex with them. So, making sure they're out of my existence, out of my life. I'm not following them on Instagram or anything like that, or any form of social media, because if they pop up, it'd trigger me. Even if I have moved on from that person, it's like once upon a time, it will take me back that path, that dark path that I don't want to go down. So think about what are your triggers, because I know for me, that was my biggest trigger. Number 5, I feel like is a very obvious take, but talk to people that you trust, whether it's friends or family, about your feelings. See if you have people in your life that can relate and are going through the same thing that you are, and you guys can talk about different things that's worked for you in terms of overcoming sexual frustration. I remember I would use my friends all the time during my 4-year dry spell to talk about my needs and how they weren't being met, and being able to vent to people and like getting ideas from my friends and what's helped them. That was really comforting for me. I would never talk about that with my parents ever, but everyone's relationships with their parents and siblings and other people in their family are different. For me, I didn't do family, but friends, it was a big safety net for me. Find out who you can trust to talk about this stuff and see what they may be able to tell you, because you never know what could help you. The sixth thing is to do activities that you love, or start taking interest in new activities, because when you're focusing on something that makes you really happy and what you absolutely love, sex is gonna be the last thing that you think about. Like for me, shopping, podcasting, making my own content, like YouTubing. I know I'm making a YouTube video on sexual frustration, but I don't feel sexually frustrated right now. Other activities that I really enjoy. I mean, working out's been another one for me. Being outdoors in really nice weather, like going on hikes, tanning by the pool. Those are things that are gonna make me not even think about sex. I feel like that's an obvious thing, is to do activities that you love to do, or exploring new activities that you know are gonna make you happy, because that will take your mind off of it. And the last thing, which has really helped me, is therapy. Y'all, go to therapy, go see someone to talk about this, and see if they have any recommendations on how you can cope with this. Talking to a therapist is a great way to get your feelings out, express what you're going through. And another thing that I noticed when I started going to therapy, and also had to start getting meds prescribed to me, depending on if you have a specific mental health issue, my anxiety medications have completely eliminated my sex drive. I know that may not sound like a good thing, but when I wasn't taking anxiety meds, I noticed my sex drive was at an all-time high. I felt like I had the sex drive of a teenage boy. I was getting very frustrated. Because I wasn't getting any. I didn't have people in my life who would give me what I wanted at that time. And so once I started taking my meds, I started feeling a lot better. Yes, it sucked to lose my sex drive, but it caused me to not feel sexually frustrated, so I guess that's a good thing. Talk to your doctor or mental health professional who prescribes medications and how to work with this. That is a common side effect with those kinds of medications, but I am curious to know if horniness is linked to anxiety or depression in any kind of way. I've never really thought about it or researched it, but it was something that I noticed when I started taking those meds, and I ended up feeling a lot more relaxed. I know that list seemed really simple and it seemed like a whole big duh, but it's what helped me. And maybe you haven't found out a way to deal with this, and maybe it has helped you and given you some ideas on how to overcome that. If this video has helped you, let me know, give it a thumbs up. And if there's other ways that have helped you manage sexual frustration while being single, comment what they are down below. I'd love to hear what it is, and I'm sure other people would love to know what it is. I hope you liked this video once again, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!